Thank you all so much for being here tonight. This is our first ever Shakespeare in the Park. It's a little warm. I thank you all so much for being here and braving the heat, coming out. I wanted to just say, my name's Emily Draffen. I'm the manager of the Magnolia Civic Center here in New Albany, Mississippi. Woo-hoo. And we just wanted to try something this summer to sort of give us a sampling of Shakespeare scenes in a very casual, very low-key element here down our park along the river as a part of our Freedom Fest weekend. I wanted to thank Mr. Tiki Snowcone, Mr. Taco, and Naked Pagan Pies are all lined up over there, and the Pork Skins, Mr. Ted Russell. We have a lot of good food over there. If you all want to go and get something anytime during this entire show, please don't hesitate. You can get up, you can sit down, walk your dog, whatever you want to do during this show, very casual. So we're going to start off today. Oh, I want to also remind you that you should follow us on social media. We'll be doing more stuff like this, both here and actually at the Magnolia Civic Center on Bankhead Street. We'll have Christmas shows, we have ballets, we have the Union County School Musical. We'll be doing a big musical in spring. And if you have a program, you'll see some upcoming events there on the back as well. So do please follow us for more updates and info. We are adding events all the time post this COVID situation here. We're excited to have you all out here. Yay! Yes, thank you all so much. This audience has exceeded my grandest expectations. I'm so thrilled to see each and every one of you here. So my first scene here, our first scene, is my pleasure to introduce from Midsummer Night's Dream. Theseus, the Duke of Athens, is set to get married. I'm setting you the scene here. We're getting the ambiance set. And they've ordered amusements to be staged in celebration of the Duke's wedding. So this group of tradesmen, or mechanicals, are getting together to rehearse a play written by Peter Quince, the carpenter.
Is all our company here?
Yes. You were best to call them generally man by man according to the script.
Here is a scroll of every man's name that is thought fit through all Athens to play in our interlude for the Duke and Duchess on their wedding day at night.
First, good Peter Quince, say what the play treats on. Then read the names of the actors and so grow to a point.
There. The play is the most lamentable comedy and most cruel death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
Oh, very good piece of work, I assure you, and the Mary. Now, good Peter Quince, call forth your actors by the scroll. Masters, spread yourselves.
Answer as I call you. Ahem. Big Bottom, the Weaver.
Ready! Name what part I am for and proceed.
You are set down for Pyramus.
What is Pyramus? A lover or a tyrant?
A lover who kills himself most gallantly for love.
That will ask some tears in the true performing of it. If I do it, let the audience look to their eyes. I will move storms. I will condole in some measure. Now to the rest.
Yeah.
My general humor is for a tyrant. I can play Hercules rarely or a part to tear a cat in, to make all split. The raging rocks and shivering shocks shall break the locks of prison gates, and Phoebus' car shall shine from far and make and mar the foolish fates. This was lofty. Now, name the rest of the players. So this is Hercules' vein, a tyrant's vein. A lover is more condoling.
Francis Flute, the bellows mender.
Here, Peter Quince.
Francis Flute, you must take Thisbe on you.
And what is Thisbe? A wandering knight?
It is the lady that Pyramus must love.
Let me not play a woman. I have a beard coming in.
That's all, one. You shall play it in the mask, and you may speak as small as you will.
And I may hide my face. Let me play Thisbe, too. I'll speak in a monstrous little voice. Thisbe, Thisbe. Ah, Pyramus, my lover dear, thy Thisbe dear, and lady dear.
No. You shall play Pyramus, and you, Flute, you play Thisbe.
Well, proceed.
Robin Starveling, the tailor.
Here, Peter Quince.
You must play Thisbe's mother. Tom Snout, the tinker. You play Thisbe's father, myself, Thisbe's father, and Snug the joiner, you, the lion, shall take.
You have the lines for fitting yet? Lady, if it be, give to me for full study.
You may do it extempore, for it is all roaring.
Let me play the lion too. I will roar that I will make any man's heart good to hear me. I will roar that I will make the Duke say, let him roar again. Let him roar again.
And you should do it too terribly. You should fright the Duchess and the ladies that they should shriek. And that would hang us, every one.
No, I grant you, friends, that if we were to fright the ladies out of their wits, they would have no more discretion but to hang us. But I will aggravate my voice so that I will roar you as gently as any sucking dove. I will roar you into any nightingale.
You can play no part but Pyramus. For Pyramus is a sweet-faced man, as proper a man as one shall see on a summer day. Lovely man, a most gentleman-like man. Therefore, you must needs play Pyramus, huh?
Yes. Pyramus. Yes.
Well, I will undertake.
Yay.
What beard were I best to play it in?
Why, what you will.
I will discharge it in either your straw-colored beard, your orange tawny beard, your purple ingrain beard, your French crown-colored beard, your perfect yellow.
Some of your French have no crowns at all, and then they will play it barefaced. All right. Now, masters, here are your parts. If you'll just pass those along. And, I am to entreat you, request you, and desire you to con them by tomorrow night, and meet me in the palace wood, a mile without the town. There, by moonlight, shall we rehearse. For if we meet in the cities, we shall be dogged with company, and our devices known. Meanwhile, I shall draw up a list of properties such as the play needs. I pray you, fail me not.
We will meet, and there we may rehearse most obscenely and courageously. Take pains, be perfect. Adieu.
At the Duke's Oak we meet.
Enough! Hold or cut motion.
Aha!
All right. So the next up we have Hamlet's soliloquy. Just a bit about setting the scene here. Hamlet has been going through a lot. His father died. His mom immediately got married to his uncle. His ghost dad showed up to tell Hamlet that his uncle actually murdered his father, and he dedicates himself to avenging his father's death. He enters a deep melancholy, and in this most famous monologue of Shakespeare's, he contemplates the question of taking his own life.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep. To sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the scorns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death? That undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than to fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience doth make cowards of us all. And thus, The native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment, with disregard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
All right, next up we have a scene from Much Ado About Nothing, followed by a monologue from the same play, Much Ado About Nothing, one of Shakespeare's comedies. I'm just going to quote directly from the text here. "There is a kind of merry war betwixt Beatrice and Signor Benedick. They never meet, but there is a..."
If Signor Leonardo be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedick. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedick? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat? For it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted, and I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women! They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood that I am of your humor for that. I would rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours.
You are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
Well, I would my horse had the speed of your tongue and so good a continuer. Keep your way. In God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man as Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife, and now had he rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would walk 10 miles afoot to see a good armor, and now will he lie 10 nights awake carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose like an honest man and a soldier, but now is he turned orthography. His words are just a fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I take my oath on it, till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician. And her hair shall be of what color it please God. The prince and miss your love. I will hide me in the arbor.
The 5th, the St. Crispin's Day speech. On the eve of the Battle of Agincourt, which falls on St. Crispin's Day, Henry V has some words for his men who are vastly outnumbered by the French.
More men. What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enow to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear, such outward things dwell not in my desire. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my coz, wish not a man from England. God's peace I would not lose so great an honor as one man more, methinks, would share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, wish not one more. Rather, proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company who fears his fellowship to die with us. Today is called the Feast of St. Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home shall stand a tiptoe when the day is named and rouse himself at the name of Crispian. He that comes safe home and sees old age will yearly, on the vigil, feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is St. Crispian's. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot. But he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then shall our names, as familiar in the mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This day shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall now go by from this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers, for he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England, now abed, shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, while any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day!
I want to take this moment to remind you all that you can get up anytime you'd like and get a delicious snow cone or taco or barbecue nachos or anything you like. And we thank you again for being here. The next one is from the Midsummer Night's Dream, and I'm going to try to make it as not confusing as possible. So I'm going to give you a lot of detail, and then we're just going to let the chaos unleash. The setting is a forest outside of Athens. Lysander and Hermia are in love and want to be married. Hermia's father wants her to marry Demetrius. Demetrius wants to marry Hermia and has her father's consent to do so, but he doesn't have Hermia's heart. He does have Helena's heart. She's Hermia's best friend and obsessed with Demetrius. She's so in love with him that she spills the beans to him about Hermia's and Lysander's plan to fly through the forest at night and elope. Demetrius follows the lovers to the woods to stop them. Helena follows Demetrius, and then there are fairies involved. Oberon, king of the fairies, sees how Demetrius mistreats poor Helena and asks Puck to fetch a magic flower that makes you fall in love with the next living person you see when you wake up. Puck has magicked the wrong guy, and things continue to be confusing.
What hast thou done? Thou hast mistaken quite, and laid the love juice on some true love sight. Thy prison must enforce for sure, that some true love turn, and now some false turn true.
Then faith we rule, for one man holding truth. A million fail, confounding oath and oath.
About the woods go swifter than the wind, and Helena of Athens looked out fine. How fancy sick is she and full of cheer, with sighs of love that makes the fresh blood tear. By some illusion, bring her here. I'll charm his eyes against which she doth appear.
I go, look how I go, fast through the arrow, the Tartar's bow.
Flower of this purple dye, with Cupid's archery, sink in apple of his eye. When thou love, she doth espy. May she shine as gloriously as Venus in the sky. When you wake, if she be by, beg of her a remedy.
Captain of the fairy band, Helena's here at hand, and the youth mistook by me, pleading for a lover's fee. Shall we their fine pageant see? What fools these mortals be!
Yes, stand aside. The noise they make will cause Demetrius to wake.
Then two at once, woo one, that must be neat sport. But those things do please me that befall preposterously.
Why should you think that I should woo and scorn? Scorn and derision never come in tears. Look, when I vow, I weep. And thou so born in their nativity, all truth appears. How can these things in me seem scorn to you, bearing the badge of faith to prove them true?
You do advance your cunning more and more. When truth kills truth, O devilish holy fray, these vows are Hermia's. Will you give her o'er? Weigh oath with oath, and you will nothing weigh. Your vows to her and me put in two scales will even weigh, and both as light as tails.
I had no judgment when to her I swore.
Nor none in my mind, now you give her o'er.
Demetrius loves her, and he loves not you.
Oh, Helena, goddess, nymph, perfect, divine. To what my love shall I compare thy nine? Crystal is muddy. Oh, how ripened show thy lips, those kissing cherries, tempting grow.
Oh, spite! Oh, hell! I see you are all bent to set against me for your merriment. If you were civil and knew courtesy, you would not do me this much injury. Can you not hate me, as I know you do, but join in souls to mock me too? If you were men, as men you are in show, you would not use a gentle lady so to vow and swear and super praise my parts, when I am sure you hate me with your hearts. You are both rivals and love Hermia, and now both rivals to mock Helena, a trim exploit. A manly enterprise to conjure tears up in a poor maid's eyes with your derision. None of noble sort would so offend a virgin and extort a poor soul's patience, all to make your sport.
You are unkind, Demetrius. Be not so, for you love Hermia. This you know, I know so. Here, with all goodwill, with all my heart. In Hermia's love, I yield you up my part. And yours of Helena to me bequeath, whom I do love, and will do till my death.
Never did mockers waste more idle breath.
Lysander, keep thy Hermia. I will none. For if I loved her, that love is gone. My heart to her but as guest-wise sojourned. And now, to Helen, it is home returned, there to remain.
Helen, it is not so.
Lysander, dispatch not the fate thou dost not know, unless to thy peril thou buy it dear. Look, where thy love comes, yonder is thy dear.
Hark night, that from the eye his function takes, the ear more quick of apprehension makes, wherein it doth impair the seeing sense, it pays the hearing double recompense. Thou art not by mine eye, Lysander, found, mine ear, I thank it, brought me to thy sound, but why unkindly dost thou leave me so?
Why should he stay whom love doth press to go?
What love could press Lysander from my side?
Lysander's love, who would not let him by. Fair Helena, whom more engilds the night than all you fiery O's and eyes of light. Why seekest thou me? Cannot this make thee know the hate I bear thee made me leave thee so?
You speak not as you think, it cannot be.
Lo! She is one of this confederacy. Now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false sport in spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired? Have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? is all the counsel that we two have shared. The sisters' vows, the hours we have spent when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us. Oh, is it all forgot? And will you rent our ancient love asunder to join with men in scorning your poor friend? It is not friendly. It is not maidenly. Your sex as well as I may chide you for it, though I alone do feel the injury.
I am amazed at your passionate words. I scorn you not, it seems that you scorn me.
Have you not set Lysander, as in scorn, to follow me and praise my eyes and face, and made your other love, Demetrius, who, even but now, did spurn me with his foot, to call me goddess, nymph divine and rare, precious, celestial? Wherefore speaks he this to her he hates? And wherefore doth Lysander deny your love so rich within his soul, and tender me, forsooth, affection? But by your consent, by your setting on. What, though I be not so engraced as you, so hung upon with love, so fortunate but miserable most to love unloved, this you should pity rather than despise.
I understand not what you mean by this.
I do persever. Counterfeit sad looks, make mouths upon me when I turn my back, wink each at other. Hold the sweet jest up. This sport, well carried, shall be chronicled. If you had any pity, grace, or manners, you would not make me such an argument, but fare ye well. 'Tis partly my own fault, which death or absence soon shall remedy.
Stay, gentle Helena. Hear my excuse, my love, my life, my soul.
Oh,
Helena.
excellent.
We do not scorn her so.
She cannot entreat. I can compel.
Thou canst compel no more than she entreat. Thy threats have no more strength than her weak prayers. Helen, I love thee. By my life I do. I swear by that which I will lose to thee, to say to those who says I love thee not.
I say I love thee more than he can do.
If thou sayest so, withdraw.
Wait,
and prove it too.
Come!
Lysander, where to tinsel this?
Can you hang off, thou cat, thou bird, vile thing let loose, or I will take thee and shake thee from me like a serpent.
Why are you grown so rude? What changed?
Ow! Loathed medicine, hated potion, hence!
Do you not jest?
Yes, sooth, and so do you.
Demetrius, I will keep my word with thee.
I would I had your bond, for I perceive a weak bond holds you.
What?
I'll not trust your word.
Should I hurt her, strike her, kill her dead? Although I hate her, I will not harm her so.
What can you do me greater harm than hate? Hate me, wherefore owe me what news, my love? Am not I Hermia? Are not you Lysander? I as am fair as I was erewhile. Since not you loved me, yet since not you left me, why then you love me? Oh, the gods forbid! In earnest shall I say.
I, by my life, and never did desire to see thee more. Therefore, be out of hope, of question, of doubt. Be certain, nothing truer, 'tis no jest, that I do hate thee and love Helena.
Oh me! You juggler! You hater! What have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him?
Fine. In faith, have you no modesty? No maiden shame, no touch of bashfulness? What will you tear? Impatient answers from my gentle tongue? Fie! Fie, you counterfeit, you puppet! You
Puppet? Why so? Aye, that way goes the game. Now I perceive that she hath made compare between our statures. She hath urged her height. And with her personage, her tall personage, her height forsooth she hath prevailed with him. And are you grown so high in his esteem because I am so dwarfish and so low? How low am I, thou painted maple? Speak. How low am I? I am not yet so low, but that my nail should be so
Oh, no, you may mock me, gentlemen! Let her not hurt me! I was never cursed. I have no gift at all in truishness. I am a right maid for my cowardice. Let her not strike me. You may think, perhaps, because she is something lower than myself, that I can match her.
lower, hark again!
Good Hermia, do not be so bitter with me. I evermore did love thee, Hermia, did ever keep your counsel, never wronged you. Save that in love unto Demetrius I told him of your stealth into this wood. He followed you. For love I followed him. But he hath chid me hence and threatened me to spurn me, strike me, nay, to kill me too. And now, so you will let me quiet go, to Athens will I bear my folly back and follow you no further. Let me go. You see how simple and how fond I am?
Why, get you gone. Who is it that hinders you?
Foolish heart that I leave here behind.
What, with Lysander?
With Demetrius!
Be not afraid, she shall not harm thee, Helena.
No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part.
She is angry, she is keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school, and though she be but little, she is fierce.
Little? Again, nothing but low and little. Why will you suffer her to flout me thus? Let me come to her!
Get you gone, you dwarf! You minimus! You grass maid, you bee! You acorn!
Ah, you are too officious in her behalf that scorns her services. Take not her part. Speak not of Ellen. Leave her alone. For if thou dost intend never so little show of love to her, thou shalt abide it.
Now she holds me not. Now follow, if thou darest, to try whose right of thine or mine is most in Helena.
Follow. Nay, I'll go with thee. Cheek by jowl.
Ow, okay.
Phew, mistress. All this coil as long as you nay, go not back.
I will not trust you, nor longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands than mine are quicker for a fray. My legs are longer, though, to run away!
I am amazed and know not what to say.
Yes, Mr. Joe Johnson, if anyone is arriving and not knowing who we're listening to being fabulous. Joe Johnson.
Thank you. Emily Draffen. Garrett. I don't know your last name.
That's okay. So we have two more scenes tonight. The next one is from Julius Caesar. It is Mark Antony's speech. Some will recognize it. It's one of those big monologues from Shakespeare. Setting the scene, Brutus and some other men have assassinated Julius Caesar, stabbing him to death. Julius is dead. Antony has been allowed by Brutus and the other conspirators who killed him to make a funeral oration for Caesar, on condition that he will not blame them for Caesar's death.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. Now the noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. For here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious, when that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept? Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. You all did see that upon the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. What's this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, Brutus is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withhold you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beast, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Joe Johnson. Thank you once again to all of our great food trucks, all those supporters who came out here tonight, Mr. Taco, Mr. Tiki Hut, and Naked Pagan Pies, and Ted Russell with the pork skins over there. We have one more scene tonight. It is from Romeo and Juliet, and setting the scene here of what came before, as we set up our balcony. Romeo is a Montague, Juliet is a Capulet. These two families have not mixed. Tonight he and his friends crash a Capulet party where he meets and falls in love with, at first sight, Juliet. And after the party, he is leapt into the garden wall and into the Capulet's garden. Yeah. Here we go.
Everyone, I apologize for holding a script. I don't know it. Bear with me. Thank you. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I'm too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business to entreat her eyes, twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would throw the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon thy hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night being o'er my head as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy hasten clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not Montague. What's Montague? 'Tis neither hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. And so Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owns without that title. O Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou, that thus bescreened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo, and a Montague?
Neither, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place of death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings that I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do that dares love attempt, therefore thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate. Then death crow wrote, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot. If were thou as far as that vast shore, washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush to paint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have said, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word, yet if thou swearest, thou may prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou think'st I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse, and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behaviour light. But trust me, gentle man, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst, ere I was ware, my true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips with silver all
swear
these...
not by the moon, the inconstant moon, which monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What should I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart, dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, good night. A sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that which within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and to give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My love, my bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Madam!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. I'm going, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night. I am feared, being a knight, all this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
Anon I come! But, if thou mean'st not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come! To cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow I will send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love toward school with heavy looks.
Hist! Romeo, hist! Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud, else I would tear the cave where echo lies, and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo's name.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo!
My dear!
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
At the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget. To have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still say to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, yet no further than a wanton's bird, who she lets hop a little from her hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I with thy bird.
Sweet, so would I, yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I should say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep well upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep in peace, so sweet to rest.